Well, that's the last one for today. I wasn't going to bore you in here with packing packages. We'll do that some other time, but man, it's hot. It's Sunday. We did get a few orders, one UPS, and we've been sending most of them. That's one thing with the rates. The rates change. Rates are always changing. One week the UPS is less expensive for the stuff, and the next week the parcel services. But anyway, I got this fan in here. I started this earlier and I got a phone call and I got to come back in and finish it. This is actually the Beaver tail oil, and you can see how dark that is. That's just really top shelf stuff. My buddy Pete out in South Dakota, Pete Harper, does a wonderful job on that. I've been bottling that up today, and we got quite a few in there. There's a big couple gallon of coyote glands, and starting to get our glands caught up, and because a lot of those Johnny formulas are just so gland rich, you just have to have the glands. And anybody out there that has glands, I am in the market to buy them. I do have a price list of what I'm paying. If you do have glands, reach out. But that's the Beaver tail oil. You can see it's just really rich. Really rich. That actually goes in our bait pile. And for those of you out there that haven't seen the bait pile yet, I'll set this down right here. See if we can hold it. This is actually not a full jar. That's why it's sitting there and not in a box or in the bin. But this is our bait pile. It's really brought to market to imitate a bait pile in nature. You know, the first time I ever saw this was up in Canada. I was up with a guy named Mike Gursky, and it's actually one of the best videos I feel I've ever done. You know, I get a lot of compliments on the Johnny stuff. I get a lot of compliments on the Bob Wentz stuff. A lot of compliments on the ones that I put out on my own. But the Mike Gursky's Canadian Trapline Adventure is a really good set. I was up there with Mike. He had two lines. He had what he called the North Line, which is about 200 mile or so north of Fort Francis. And then he had a line that he had purchased from the Crown around town. So he had two different lines set up. And he used a bait pile to snare his foxes in one of those locations with the Ram Power Snare. And it was just a bunch of beaver carcasses, rotting tails, and beaver meat. And you know, it was foxes, coyotes, even wolves that were in that area were hitting those bait piles. And that's what I tried to recreate with this. And it's really, I tested it last year, and it just really has every bit of that smell. And you can see it's a thick, real good bait, and that is beaver meat. It's a couple other essential oils, and another main ingredient of that one is the Beaver tail oil. And as I said, Pete does a really nice job for me on that, and can't go wrong with it. If anybody wants to change their baits up a little bit this year, that bait pile is good. Our Mountain Man is obviously, you can't beat it. It's a fantastic bait. But I'm also going to do today, I got to get to this stuff. We've got rotten fish. This is actually, we'll show you this. This is going to be a main ingredient to Johnny's Muscalon, and it's the deer nuts. And you can see all of the deer pods in there that have been marinating. We will drain that juice off and use that as well, as because that's tincturing in the 190 proof vodka. And man, I popped that lid. Probably shouldn't have popped that lid, because the guy at least this warehouse from has already said, man, you can't be doing that stuff in there anymore. And that one there was, whoa, that's rancid. But that's what's going to make that Muscalon so good. And I remember Johnny saying, you know, it was one of the better woofer lures on the market. He talked about how it just aggressively work it, and you know, pretty much every animal works it. Pretty much, you know, we've shown you, and I don't want to. I mean, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this warehouse stuff. I don't need likes. Let's just get that out there right now. I don't need likes. I don't need views. This is it has nothing to do with other than show people how you can do stuff on your own. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. I would love to have your business. We are going to do all the nasty shit for you. I'm going to stick my hands in it. I'm going to make it. My employees are going to bottle it. But I don't do this or show this stuff for likes. We don't post things for likes. And I've heard some, I mean, I've only been doing this for 2 weeks. And I've already heard through the grapevine, oh, what's he think he's doing? He's showing people. Yeah, well, you know what? We're going to continue to show a lot more of this stuff. And when I'm doing it, we're going to film it. So I don't forget it. I forget shit all the time. I'm going to do it so I don't forget it, one. And two, we're going to show you how to do it. Because if you want to do it on your own, you're going to be able to do it. If you don't want to do it on your own, you can get on our website and you can buy exactly what I'm showing you how to make. And you don't have to deal with all the mess. But I just wanted to throw that out there and just put that to bed before we even get into this. Because we're going to do a lot more through the fall. We're going to, you know, show a lot of different things that some of you probably already know, and maybe you even have a better system than I have. And I'm sure there are guys out there that do some things more efficiently than me. But overall processes, we're going to show you how to do things. And today, we're going to grind some of them deer balls. We're going to drain off that fish juice. We're going to finish doing the beaver tail oil. And all of that stuff is used for Johnny's formulas. I just ran out. I just had to order today. Didn't even know it. Here's one of the things that happens sometimes in the warehouse, and it's just because I got way too much sometimes going on. I forget. I ordered a Reaper bait today, and there's the bin, and there's none left. I don't have any Reaper. I gotta sit and make Reaper either tonight or tomorrow. I've already been here 6 hours, and I'm gonna be here at least another 2 or 3. I want that pallet cleaned up. But all of these boxes are baits and lures. We've got the Hunter. We've got the Castor. We've got Magnet, Fox Plus, Coyote Plus, Spawn. We've got a whole pallet of, well, not a whole pallet, but half pallet of Mountain Man, a whole pallet of Coon Buster, since that is our big seller, because it works great with that crawfish oil on the raccoons and a DP. And we got 6 cases of the bait pile there. And we don't have any Reaper, so I have to make some Reaper along with everything else. But we'll get that done, and anybody that orders it, we'll have it for you, and I can guarantee you it's going to be a good fresh batch. It won't be any fresher if you order in the next week or two, because it'll pretty much be being made by me and putting it in a jar. But we've got a lot of other things here I'm going to grind up. This is Beaver meat that needs ground again. I shouldn't have popped that lid either. That's Castor, Beaver Castor, that's tincturing in the vodka. I may actually grind that and then put it back in the vodka to tincture up. I probably will do that today. That's beaver liver and some things in there. And that right there is glands. That's all fox glands. I can tell by the smell coming out of it. I need to grind them up too. that coating you see on top of both of these is just some salt I put in it so that there's no mold and things that grow. But this here, we are going to grind that up. I'll probably show that process in a little bit. Those Castor have been marinating in the 190. We're going to probably drain them off, save that drain that we get off of there, which you always want to do. Anytime you tincture something, that's what you're doing it for. You're doing it for that liquid, because that liquid, especially that 190 proof, and like I said the other day on the other one, I get really good results out of mineral oil, glycerin, things of that nature. But you want to do that, definitely save that, and you can tincture it off. A lot of times you can tincture some of that stuff 3 months, 6 months, however long you're tincturing. You can tincture that, drain that off. And that stuff as a host still has a lot more quality and active ingredient to it, to where you can tincture it sometimes, especially good smelly glands, mink glands, weasel glands, coyote glands. Those coyote glands not so much, mink and weasel a little bit more. You can tincture them 3-4 times sometimes, because they just anybody that's ever cut a mink or a weasel, exactly how potent that is. But you can tincture that sometimes 2 and 3 times and get a really good value out of it. But that's what I'm doing today. It's Sunday. My kid went home. His mom had a party. He's got another golf tournament coming up this week, so I need to get this stuff done so I can travel with him, and we're gonna go do a practice round for this one. That's what's really cool. I don't know if I told anybody, but that was the first time he ever stepped on that course that he played last week, where he shot -1. He proud dad moment again. He went out there and used his brain and range find everything, and just played great. So maybe I shouldn't take him for a practice round this week, but we're gonna get this beaver tail oil in the canning jars, and we'll finish that up. I ain't got much left. I had 2 5-gallon buckets, about 10 gallon worth that he gave me last time I saw him. But we'll get that done and move on to the rest. And as I said, it's hot, but we're definitely probably going to show you some more stuff before we even leave today.
Email us today for a free catalog to browse all of our traps and snares, baits and lures, and much more. Get all of your trapping and predation control needs by emailing to info@NorthAmericanTrapper.com for your free catalog. Proven products equals proven conservation.
Well, I've got the beaver oil done. You can see it all lined up there. That's all done. We got that one step done today. And now we're going to move on. We're going to do these Castor. And these have been basically tincturing in this vodka. You can smell it. That's good. But we're going to do some of these, and I'm going to grind this off. I'm actually going to pour off the tincture into the bucket, and then with all of the ground up Castor, it's going to go back in there. We're going to just continue to tincture it. I like tincturing it when it's ground up. I just feel that I get a better tincture out of it when it's ground up, as opposed to just the whole pod or the whole Castor. So this is the second step. I'm not going to get to I'm sweating, it's hot, I'm tired. I'm not going to get to those deer pods today. There's 5 or 6 buckets of those, but I am going to get to the fish after this. So I'm going to grind this up, and then I'm going to do that rotten fish and put that in. I don't know how much I have. I don't know if I have enough to put that in glass jars, but I do want to get it in the glass jars. One, I think it preserves and stays better in glass jars, but 2, I put it in a quart jar. I know when I have a formula, if it takes 32 ounces of something or 64 ounces of something, or if I do a double batch and it's 128 ounces, I can just boom, boom, boom. I don't have to sit and measure it out. It's ready for me to go, but that's part of the process. But we're going to get these Castor done. They're just sitting in that vodka, rendering out, tincturing out, but we're going to grind them up and tincture them some more. that's good. Get this off, and you'll see how it binds up from that thicker stuff. You'll see when I take this lid off, or this cap off. Get the stuff that's in there. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. You can see here how it binds up. There's probably a value to this, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna put that stuff. That's the extra castor and sinew and whatever that's left, but we're not gonna put that in the bucket. But you can see that's just really nice right there. I'll get the Castor Beaver. That's the finished product right there. That's the Castor. You can see that's really all ground up now. It's in our Everclear 190 proof. It's going to tincture in that. I'm probably going to add another 1/5 of the Everclear in there to tincture it some more. I might even actually add 2/5. I'm probably going to add, that's on the bucket. You can see there on the bucket it's up about a little over a gallon, probably 1.5 gallons. And I'm probably going to add another 2/5 of Everclear 190 proof vodka to that to do the tincturing. And then what I'll do, I'll let that sit for about 6 months. I'll drain it off, and then I will use this castor again. As you can see, I'll use this castor again to tincture another batch of the castor off. And what we'll do at that point, once we tincture off twice, we will probably use the remaining castor as a base for our castor lure. And we'll add our beaver sack oil and the other few ingredients to it to put it in a bottle so you guys can go out there and catch some Castor canadensis. But as I said, I'm not going to do these deer balls today. I'm going to wait on that. But I am going to do this fish. I'm going to get the white fish. I'm going to drain that off. You can see my totally awesome bleach. You can see the flies probably running around because I've opened that lid. It still stinks in here from them deer balls. I opened that lid and that's pretty rancid. But I use that bleach. I pour it on the lids when the flies are on it, and they don't bother it once I put the bleach on it. So, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think that one under there is 5. I've got 5 fish juice that I'm gonna pour into the glass, and I think that'll be it for today. We got a lot accomplished today. Got my orders out. They'll be picked up tomorrow since today's Sunday. We've actually, while we were in the room, I did see another one come in for a couple DPs, a coon buster and a magnet. So we'll pack that up before we leave. And then once we get the fish done, we'll be done for the day. But this is the process. We got quite a bit accomplished. Got the orders out, so we don't have to do that tomorrow morning. We can work on something else that needs to be done. Got the beaver oil in the glass. Got the beaver castor ground up and 2 more 5ths of vodka put in to tincture them out. As I said, that'd be a 6-month process. I like to do it for at least 6 months. The longer you do it, the better it is for you guys out there that are tincturing your own beaver castor or tincturing anything. 6 months is basically your minimum. And most times, the longer you tincture it, the better it's going to be. It's going to draw more from the host. Just make sure you have a good tincturing agent. As I said, we're using that 190 for a lot of the stuff. I have used mineral oil in the past. Mineral oil will work for you. It'll do a great job. I think mineral oil is the best out of all of them that are available. Glycerin works good too. I don't usually mind a tincture that's done in glycerin. It takes a little longer for it to draw. Propylene glycol, I just don't like propylene glycol. And if you are going to use the vodka, you got to use the pure, the 190, because it won't have the alcohol smell. If you go down into that 90 proof and that it retains just that hint of alcohol, and I just don't like that in any of the ingredients. But when you're doing that, have patience, and the more patience you have, just like trapping, the more patience you have, the more success you're going to have. And I'll throw that in here. We'll throw a little trapping tidbit. When I do seminars or I do events or, get emails or questions, whenever somebody asks me a question, what's the best way to catch a coyote? Number one, first and foremost, the best way to catch a coyote is the coyote has to be there. So you have to have sign. So you got to set on sign, and pretty much your job's done at that point if you know the coyotes are there. Same with bobcats, fox, doesn't matter. If you're setting on sign, you're going to have a chance to catch them, and you are going to catch them. Second thing, bed your trap properly. It doesn't matter if you're trapping coyotes, fox, bobcat, muskrat, mink, coon, whatever you're trapping, you have to bed your trap properly. It's got to be in there tight. It's got to be solid, because if they step on that loose jaw or a lever or something and that moves, coon's going to get his hands and stuff in there, and he's going to flip your trap. A fox or a coyote's going to find the edge. He's going to dig you out, and then you got problems at that point. You're going to have a digger. You just smartened him up, so he's not going to really even work a set except to work it and piss you off. A maker muskrat can hit it as they're running by a bridge abundant, and not that it'll bother them to where they won't, step in the water again, but they're already gone. They're by your trap, and that mink might not come back for 2 or 3 weeks. But bed your trap properly. And then, the third thing that I tell people is you got to have a good bait and lure. And as I always say, we would love your business. We produce great baits and lures, and you could see the work and the effort that we put into it. But are they the best that's available? We would never say that. But we will say that they're as good as anything out there. There's a lot of good baits and lures. We actually carry my good friend Ronnie Leggett. We carry his exciters, and we carry those exciters because we use them. And it's one of the few things that I use that we don't produce, but I've been using that stuff for 25, 30 years. And it's part of my bag. It's part of my repertoire when I go in the field, and that's why we sell it. We sell what we use. But if you want to catch something, and the point that I was trying to make with all this before I rambled is patience. No different than tincturing these beaver Castor. I'm going to be patient. I have to wait. Same thing with a trap. The best way to catch a coyote or any animal is to be on sign, obviously, and set your trap and have all that in place. But then just leave it alone. Patience will pay off for you, and you'll be successful. I just got an email today from a guy, and he said, I want to thank you for, helping me out. That's exactly what we want. We want those emails. We want to know when we're helping you out. And the biggest thing is to not overthink it. Do it consistently, and anything that you do consistently, you're going to get good at. But I think we're about done for the day. We'll be back in here tomorrow morning. We'll film some stuff this week before the other golf tournament coming up this weekend. But we'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Proven products equals proven conservation. We'll see you next time.
Email us today for a free catalog to browse all of our traps and snares, baits and lures, and much more. Get all of your trapping and predation control needs by emailing to info@NorthAmericanTrapper.com for your free catalog. Proven products equals proven conservation.